I certainly hope you dance as well as you dress.
There's only one way to find out.
You and I, we're not so different. Agent Argylle.
Little help? Hold on.
The book is phenomenal, sweetie, but...
What happens next?
It's called a cliffhanger, Mother.
Ellie, it's called a cop-out.
A spy novelist and her cat are thrust into the world of espionage when it is discovered that her stories have an uncanny similarity to real-life top-secret situations. The spy community becomes desperate to discover what story she will write next. Hey everyone, welcome back to Clubhouse Movies Podcast. I'm your host, Marc Rubalcaba, joined once again by Mr. Abel Pineda. Today we'll be reviewing Argylle, directed by Matthew Vaughn.
It's Flat Top Gavel!
Yeah, for all those people who dreamed of having, what's his name? For all those people who dreamed of having Henry Cavill play James Bond, see Argylle, and you will get the closest you probably ever will get to him sporting maybe more of a Dr. Evil-like suit.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I felt like at one point he was going to do the pinky thing, but I never got it, man. Yeah, I never got it.
He hammed it up pretty well, and I have to say I think I like Matthew Vaughn's style. So I think one of the better X-Men movies was definitely First Class, and that's kind of why I first noticed him. But he also made Kick-Ass and the Kingsman movies. Yep. So he definitely has a thing to himself that I like.
With these movies, it's him, and it's not just cinematography. If you hear the musical tracks that are playing, it's going to be him. I mean, this movie did in the trailer, and in the movie, you get Elvis, Suspicious Minds. It's like, come on. It's so good, man. Yeah,
he's kind of like a Wes Anderson, Michael Bay type, where you can kind of recognize the style of his movies, but it comes up, and there's a lot of movies that they actually come to mind about this one, and I think more recently was Bullet Train, because I think that the style of Bullet Train is that what if it kept going, like what?
Yeah, what if it left the bullet train? That's this. It's like this movie began where Bullet Train, I guess, started.
And I was also thinking, because I don't want to get into spoilers, and we will because that's part of the twist of this movie. But also Black Widow. Yeah. I felt like this is the movie Black Widow was probably supposed to be in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And even though this movie was it did have some over-the-top slapstick action, and I call it slapstick action because I think if you're going to watch this movie and if you're going to approach it and actually enjoy it for what it is, like Matthew Vaughn probably intended it to be, is think about it as a book, because it's a movie about a book, about an author who's writing a book that is, it is unraveling in real time as she is writing it. And I think if you start reading a book that's about this stuff, it's going to be over the top. Any of those movies or any of those books are all over the top, and I think they just did it in a movie.
But here's the thing about this movie. Okay, so I think it didn't do very well because for some reason the critics thought it was over bloated, but I think it's just right. And I think it gets right what, and I kind of going back to Black Widow because I can't remember, when I walked out of that, I couldn't think of any action sequences that
it was confusing.
It was confusing. It was lame. And here we see a
superhero landing.
I know, right? Here we see a female protagonist kicking ass, but also in a way harkens back to the early Transporter movies. I don't know if you remember that Transporter 1.
Yeah, I love those movies. Yeah, Transporter 1 is one of my favorite movies. It is so
he was so kinetic
noir
in that and moving around, and there's a fight at the end of this movie where they directly call back to that first Transporter movie. I just remember these a-holes fighting.
Like the leg drags, the movie, the movements of the camera. The way the hits were, the choreographed few last hits were oh my God, that's this movie.
Yeah. So I dare everyone to give this movie a chance. I think okay, so we've seen a lot of movies through the years, right? And I can kind of understand if it was my job, my full-time job to watch movies, and then all of a sudden a 2.5 hour movie about a writer and her cat, you know, and then just watching the first 20 minutes and then throwing it like in the air, like I'm done. Like, you know, I've seen this movie before.
But then you guys are giving M. Night Shyamalan, who's the guy who telegraphs the twists in the trailers, like a second chance, man. Like this movie, I will tell you right now, the trailer does not set up anything you're ever going to expect, and that's, you know, coming from, at least for me, you can read most of these movies real quick, and this one I was pleasantly surprised.
And I think like it's an ensemble movie, and I mentioned Wes Anderson again because he made an ensemble movie that we've seen a few of them. We saw, I think, more recently, the Asteroid City. Yeah. And I remember this movie and that one both included Bryan Cranston, right? And he just kind of included Wes Anderson had Bryan Cranston in a real throwaway scene. Here he's in essence the villain, and he hams it up again. And he's not and the way the movie unfolds and twists and turns, you're like, oh my god, so much going on here.
I'm gonna take his character a little step further. Is Cranston's character Ritter feels just like the inner monologue that he has as a dad in Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
It's like this character embodied. It is so well done.
And then I'm gonna have a little light spoiler here, but now you mentioned his name is Richter, right? Ritter. Okay. I mentioned it because I think that's an allusion to another villain in another movie that this movie reminds me of. One of the villains in Total Recall was named Richter. And if you remember the plot to Total Recall. So to me, like, you know, they remade Total Recall with Colin Farrell a few years ago, and I forgot.
It felt like a few days ago.
Yeah, I know, right? It just came and went. Like, why? So I think if they called this movie Total Recall, I would have thought, that's how you remake a movie, is you remake it different.
Dude, yes. You know, oh my God, it turned into its own movie. It's great.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you right now, when I think of Total Recall, I don't think about his movie. Like, I completely forgot Colin Farrell even did a Total Recall.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, whoa. It's terrible. Sorry, Colin Farrell.
I know. Well, he's doing well. He just figured out the way to be relevant in Hollywood again is put on a bunch of pancake makeup to make yourself into Danny DeVito.
Yeah, stay out of the phone booth.
Yeah, I remember that. Directed by Joel Schumacher, by the way.
Yeah, I remember.
Anyway, we got, and we have to mention Alphie the cat.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Where's the little cat?
Oh.
I know I have a little cat here somewhere, but all they're coming out angry today. It's Turkey. Technical difficulties here. I don't know. Just angry cats today. I gotta find the happy cat.
Penny Popolopoulos.
Found him. Just his meow.
There we go. Let's start over here.
But Alphie the cat. Alphie the cat is a major character in this one, played by Chip the cat. I think it might be Vince Vaughn, Matthew Vaughn's wife's cat or something. Because if you look at the premiere photos, like she's sporting Alphie in the
no way
in the carrier.
Let me look through the photos now
at the premiere. So that's pretty cool. So I almost feel like Apple came to Matthew Vaughn and said, "Hey, can you make a movie?" He goes, "I'll only make a movie if we can make the cat the star." Because this
dude, and it's so well done. Oh yeah, she was sporting him.
Yeah,
in the same Argylle backpack.
Yeah, and I went to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, and they had the large cutouts of the cat in the carrier. Yeah, you just see him like in the little porthole.
Dude, that's cool. I need to get now I want to get that backpack to carry my cat because he is terrified of cars. So I got to get him used to traveling.
The fisheye porthole cat. And I think I saw one review where they said it was like a cruelty to animals movie, but like it's clearly cartoon. Like, you know, this isn't Milo and Otis
clearly
days.
CGI.
If you wanted to make a cat limp, you'd break his leg. No, not anymore. It's a CG cat. And the what's it called? I guarantee you, ASPCA and all those Animal Humane Society guys were watching with bifocals and binoculars, making sure.
Yeah, there were spy kids. That thing.
Yeah, probably coddled better than everybody else in that movie. But I thoroughly like this, and then I saw it, and then in prepping for this one, I saw it again, and I liked it, and I liked going through the notes and the nuance of going back and seeing the twist unravel.
And the thing is, like, for me, like, I'm a fan of Matthew Vaughn, and watching, I love the Kingsman movie. The first one is my favorite. It's just a fun movie. It's a popcorn movie. You're gonna sit down. You're not gonna think everything is gonna happen in front of you. That movie didn't really require too much knowledge, and it was entertaining. This movie, I felt like, evolved his directing a little bit, where there were little bits and pieces thrown around where you're like, oh, I got to pay attention to random little things, but they're not necessary.
Yeah, and I think also the locations he goes to reminds me of those old style James Bond movies, because he starts off in Greece, Greece, I could do that because I'm Greek. Yeah,
feels like Casino Royale.
Yeah, but I realized that Dave went to like Hong Kong for a minute in like in an alternate version of the story, and then they went to England and all kinds of places, France, and it was a good, fun espionage spy movie. Like, it felt as ridiculous as like the Pierce Brosnan 007s. Yeah.
That's what I felt like this is in the same universe. Like, it felt like it was all there. Like reality is bent just a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it's also worth mentioning John Cena is also in this movie. He doesn't have as big of a role as Henry Cavill, but man, he really shines with his take in alternate personas. How he pulls girls off of motorcycles and stuff, and doing his John Cena thing
while sipping a cafe latte.
Yeah.
What's your status?
I'm about to enjoy a delicious Greek coffee.
I'm enjoying this really good Greek cafe latte. By the way, I don't think Greeks make great coffee. I think I've been to Greece a few times. I think I've been disappointed. Maybe because when I was a kid, I found a fly in my.
I really hope that was like a joke, because he emphasized it. This really good Greek coffee. I've never heard anyone say that before.
Yeah, maybe they've gotten Starbucks. And that's what they're calling it now. Because I know there is Starbucks.
I'm Puerto Rican, man. I love my coffee.
Oh yeah, there you go. But let's get into some of this plot here, because there's a lot. It is a 2.5, nearly 2.5 hour movie, but it's a movie that you can like pause and so like the Snyder cut of Justice League, they released a 4-hour movie in parts. I kind of like that, because you can like turn it off and come back. With Argylle, you can watch in 25-minute intervals, and it's like next time on Argylle, the twist.
Yeah, it really does feel like that. It feels like you're watching a really well produced podcast.
Yeah. And there's a scene in it. I don't want to get too much into the future of it, but I got to make sure I mention this, where the twist is unfolding, like when it started, and they're brainwashing someone. It's literally like the 70s like spinny thing on the you're getting sleepy.
That's so good.
Laughing my ass.
It's so ridiculous.
It's so over the top.
It was good.
Yeah, well, they got their best minds on the psychiatric work.
They're like, it's like they forgot it. The PA's like, I got something on my laptop. You guys want to put this? They're like, just give us the computer.
Yeah. They just drew like a spinny circle and just spun it a couple of times with a glowing highlight.
Oh, that's so good.
Okay. So the movie starts when we meet Argylle, played by Henry Cavill, and his assistant Wyatt, who's the person in the car, and they're in Greece, and they're double crossed by their organization. And then, like you said, Henry Cavill's wearing his flat top, looking tight in his velvety, not Austin Powers suit. And it turns out that this is a novel that Ellie Conaway has written, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, and she is a spy novelist, right? And she always sees Argylle kind of like a figment of her imagination everywhere she goes, and she's writing the next book. Right. And her mom says, I don't like this book. She emailed her they're FaceTiming, right? And their mom's like, I don't like the ending. You got to rewrite the ending. And then she decides that she's going to go to her mom's house via train with Alphie the cat. Right. And since she's a spy novelist, you know, everyone seems to know her, everyone seems to want to talk to her. And then she runs into Sam Rockwell, dressed a lot actually like Brad Pitt did in Bullet Train.
Yeah.
That's why I keep going back to Brad Pitt.
Just shaggy fur and everything, man.
Yeah, he just looks like a hobo. And he says, "Oh, I love your work. You're awesome. You're awesome." This and you know, fanboys over, and it's like, "Oh, the cat. I love cats." And you know, we don't get enough of Sam Rockwell. I gotta mention.
I know.
One of the saddest things about sad that Alan Rickman died, but he was part of Galaxy Quest. Sam Rockwell, he was Guy. He played the extra in Galaxy Quest who ended up having.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, he played an extra in the original series of Galaxy Quest.
I haven't seen the movie, so.
Oh yeah, you got to check it out. And then you know, like in Star Trek, all the extras became like convention heroes, right? So he became Sam Rockwell played this convention hero who was just an extra, like background character from the Galaxy Quest. By the end of the movie, he had like a huge role, and they called him Guy, the Guyverson or something. It was something crazy.
Oh my!
Hamming it up.
That's awesome.
So we got to see more Sam Rockwell. But he comes out dressed all hairy like, and it turns out that he tells Ellie Conway that the book that she's writing rubbed people the wrong way. The story she tells comes true, or they're just true to life. And, you know, Spectre is after you. You know, the evil organization is after you.
Yeah, Spectre. What is the name of it? It was like Directive or something ridiculous?
It was like Get Smart. Remember Get Smart was Control.
Yeah. Get Smart. Yeah, it was exactly that.
So maybe we'll call, or it was Chaos actually, and Get Smart was the evil one. Control was the good one. But we'll call it Spectre. We'll call it whatever. The evil organization is after you. So that's why I was saying the choreography really hits with this movie. So there's a big fight scene with Sam Rockwell's Aiden Wild really punching people, making it hurt.
Bullet Train.
And I think I've felt this kind of pain watching a movie since remember Mr. Nobody? Just one guy, one guy after another punching this guy. And the cool thing,
beat up, dude.
I know. And the cool thing about this was as Ellie sees Sam Rockwell beat these goons up, you see Argylle appears. So just little hints of Henry Cavill.
He flashes in and out. Yeah,
flashing in and out and winking at the camera and like fixing his hair. It's like
that's pretty good.
Meanwhile, Aiden is getting his ass kicked like in real life and getting like tossed around.
Yeah.
And
then he's also beating people up with the book Argylle.
Oh yeah, with the book and like stabbing them and they're running out.
He's like, I love this book.
Yeah, you be careful who you tell these books to. And turns out Bryan Cranston is the one who's trying to get her, and he's the one in charge of this chaos organization. After watching this again, I stumbled on the fact that Bryan Cranston played the exact same character in the Total Recall remake. It was so forgettable that everyone forgot that he played the exact same kind of villain in a Total Recall-esque movie. And he's all mad because they got away, right? And they go from place to place, like trying to solve like riddles, because part of the things that happen, there's these hackers, and these hackers have all this information, and the hackers this and the hackers that, and they go to the hackers apartment, and it turns out that there's what do you call it? There's all kinds of clues, but the thing's all gone. Like they were here, they weren't there, and they find like a space here and they space there, and then the goons come. You know, and they're hiding under the thing, and the cat meows, and they kill all the goons. You know, like it's pretty good. There's a scene after this where
it's in the trailer.
It's in the trailer, but how would the hacker escape? And then Sam Rockwell tests a theory that you can jump off of the building and onto a boat that's padded. And he takes the cat and he throws the cat, and the cat just cools a cucumber the first time, falls off the building into the padded. He's like, wow. And they just land, and then they're like, "Oh, this is how you do it." And then they both jump on the padded boat, and then the cat flies up, and that's the one he wasn't ready for.
And then catches the camera.
Yeah,
it was great.
Wasn't
a real cat, PETA.
I know. It clearly a CG cat hamming it up.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that cat to this day gets lots of yum-yums and taken care of better than most of us.
Than most humans, yeah.
So she overhears Aiden talking to a Samuel L. Jackson sounding person on the other line saying, "Oh, I hate this girl. I can't."
Jackson sound.
Yeah, because he's got that unique. I've had it with these motherfucking snakes.
Yeah.
So
he's talking to a guy about snakes.
Yeah, about how he's sick of Ellie and can't wait to get rid of her, and this and that. So she decides
put a bullet in her head and all this stuff.
Yeah, so she decides to escape, and she calls her mom. And I remember thinking, like, how did her mom end up in London so fast?
Dude, yes. So I was thinking the same thing. So yeah, she's like, so she's in London. Yeah, she's in London because that's where this is all happening. We forgot to mention that. So the hacker.
There's a lot of globetrotting.
She's in London.
There's a lot of globetrotting coming here.
All over the place. And, she tells her mom, and on the phone, her mom, played by Catherine O'Hara, yells at her dad, who we don't see in this scene, like, get us tickets to London or England, whatever. And then all of a sudden, they're just there.
They just appear. So we see Catherine O'Hara already. We saw her in the FaceTime in the beginning, and they're talking about the book. So we get that, and then the big reveal is that Bryan Cranston, head of the organization, is her dad. Right?
Yeah. He opens the door, and she's like, and then like the way the camera set up and panned, like it was like as if the realization that she knew already, but we're like, wait. She doesn't know that her dad is the bad guy. We know it, so we're the ones filled with angst.
Yeah, and we already like the mom because the mom's feeding Alphie the cat. So he's eating. What happens here? Okay. So
and that's when Aiden busts through the door.
Aiden returns. Sam Rockwell returns. Shoots Catherine O'Hara in the chest, and I think Bryan Cranston just sort of like gets away. And then they leave Alphie the cat. There's like actually a sad moment.
Oh, wait. No. Oh, we completely skipped over it. So what's happening there is... So what happens is she's sitting down. Her dad comes up behind her and starts massaging her. And the way the camera made it look like he was going to choke her. He starts massaging her. And she's like, yeah, I found this book, with these weird pages and stuff. And then she's like, oh, it's on the counter.
Oh, the hacker book.
And so obviously the hacker's book is on the counter. Ritter goes over there and just immediately starts rifling through it. And Catherine O'Hara is like talking, saying whatever she's saying. And that's when Aiden busts through the door and is like, what's happening here? They're trying to kill you.
Yeah. So they leave Alphie the cat, which is really sad because But Ellie's all sad. Oh, I got to go back for the cat. Those people are there trying to kill you. We got to go. Come with me if you want to live. All that stuff. So they escape. They leave Alphie the cat behind. I'm all sad because thinking Alfie's going to get hurt or something.
I said, Alphie, no.
Yeah, we need Alphie. Oh, there's a couple of...
I said, we love him.
There's a few Alphie no moments in this movie. Alphie no. Mm-hmm. Especially towards the end. They're like, oh, no. But anyway,
oh god.
So that's when they go to a vineyard, which is actually Samuel L. Jackson's place, and it turns out
his name is Alphie.
His name is Alphie. He's former, Secretary of State Alphie Lopez or whatever the hell.
The CIA something. Yeah, and we're like, the moment I heard his name, I was like, wait, and I'm just like,
yeah,
the whole time. So and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the drop.
But anyway, Alphie and what's his name? Aiden and Ellie, this is where we learn what the twist was. So as it turns out, Ellie was Argylle. She was the spy. So
her name was, I wrote it down. I wrote down specifically because I wanted to say it. So her name was Agent Rachel Kyle. 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 So I was like, whoa. I was like, oh.
And this is where I was getting the Total Recall vibes. You are not you. You are me.
What?
And that's when she was in the that whole incident in Greece was her, right? And the funniest thing I thought was John Cena was actually Aiden. He was the henchman. It's like you seem to draw me with a bunch of bigger muscles. And
so I appreciate that.
Yeah. And I'm like, what was the big MacGuffin here? I think they wanted all that stuff that all the hackers have, right?
Oh, the bullet. It was a bullet. The MacGuffin for this one was the bullet.
It was like a bullet flash drive, right?
Yeah. It was like a 50 cal round with, you twist it open and inside it's a USB.
Yeah.
The USB to rule them all.
And then they figure out that they have to go to the person who has like the key code or something. Like there was a lot of like convoluted stuff. They had to go see Sophia Boutella.
They had to do the side quest.
Yeah, the side quest. They had to go to her because she's they have her like real, like her character's real name, but she was the keykeeper or the collector or the gatekeeper. Remember?
Yeah. She was the neutral ground.
Yeah, so they had to go to the Continental Hotel or whatever.
I was gonna say that. I'm so glad you picked that up, man. I was watching it. I'm like, I was tired when I started watching it, and I'm like, did I just put on a John Wick movie on accident?
Yeah, and this is where Sam Rockwell, he dresses in the suede blue flat top.
Yeah,
he dresses like,
you're like Sam Rockwell flat top. Ooh.
Agent Argylle. So now Ellie has to contend with the fact that her family are actually evil. That's the one where they brainwashed her to make her feel like the writer, and that's the part where the mom is actually the
Winter Soldiered her.
Yes, they did. And they have the Winter Soldier words and everything in the book.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was like, oh no, I've seen this before.
Yeah, that's why I was saying. That's why I was so disappointed in Black Widow. It's such a bad movie. They took all the best parts of RoboCop and then made a lousy Black Widow movie where Argylle took all the best parts of Total Recall. They just picked Paul Verhoeven's brain and turned it into a femme fatale movie.
Matthew Vaughn is like, I'm a real fan.
Yeah. So anyway, they go to Sophia Boutella. She was the one with the blade feet in the first Kingsman, and she was also the alien in Star Trek. She was the Montgomery Scotty.
Oh, that was her? Okay, I was like, who the heck is this Zoe Saldana lookalike in Alienware?
She was also in, she was the female mummy in Tom Cruise's Mummy, the one no one remembers.
Oh, yeah.
And
the one with the terrible sound.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The trailer. And then the other one was...
they threw it out.
Yeah. The other one was, more recently, you'll see her as Luke Skywalker in Zack Snyder's Star Wars, also known as... Moon Knight. The Moon Keeper.
I don't know. The Moonshiners.
Rebel Moon.
Oh, there we go. Whatever.
Zack Snyder, he's another guy they need to take away his license. Take away his director's guild card.
Him and M. Night need to go put in a lock in a room together.
Yeah, they put him in a cage match. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Plot twist. They both die.
Yeah. I had a worse twist in there, but you never know what they're going to say these days. But anyway, okay, so Sophia Boutella, she gives them the MacGuffin, the flash drive or whatever they're trying to get here. And this is where Bryan Cranston re-abducts everyone, but now everyone knows he's the Blofeld inspector in this story.
Yeah, the Blofeld. Yeah,
he's the Blofeld of this.
Can I keep dropping these
James Bond
007 things because it is.
Yeah. And then she starts to remember who she is like throughout the whole thing because she was afraid of flying. She flies at the end and she remembers like that she hates cats and things like that. And what's his name? Bryan Cranston's like, you better give me like the information. Or they want Alphie. That's what it is. Alphie's in hiding.
Yeah.
They want the real Alphie. They want Samuel L. Jackson, who's in hiding because he has all the information to destroy their hacker situation stuff. I don't know, reasons and stuff.
Yeah. Reasons.
Plot stuff. Anyway, she says, "Oh, I don't." He says, "Like, if you give me Alphie, I'll give you Alphie." And
what?
She's like, and then you see Alphie back. She had, Bryan Cranston has him in their hollowed out volcano. Or whatever the hell, like, place. Well, I forget,
wherever
in
they
the
are.
desert somewhere.
Syndrome.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Really is.
I realized that was Jason Lee from My Name is Earl.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty awesome.
Simon from Alvin and the Chipmunks. Anyway, he's got that raspy voice. Where's he been?
Skateboarding, taking photos of stuff. I'm not kidding. That's what he's been doing in his off time.
I know, right? With that Owen Wilson nose of his. So anyway, she said she didn't like cats anymore, and then she was going to go see what's his name, Aiden, who's all tied up now. Sam Rockwell is all tied up.
Yeah, so she's switched sides.
Yeah,
because she has been the Splinter Cell agent, we'll say.
Yeah, she was the double agent all along.
Oh God!
Just like Total Recall. And then something that happened in her books was one of her hacker people got shot in the heart. And everyone was thinking that maybe she could come back in another book, or maybe a fan theory or something. So they torture Aiden, and then she shoots Aiden in the heart. You know?
Yeah.
So we think he's dead or he's messed up, but it turns out.
Yeah. And then we're like, oh my God, she is evil.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
We think she is evil. But it turns out that she shot him through a narrow corridor in the heart that you can survive. And then
what was it called? What was the terminology they coined for it?
The coronary window, or the soft pass. It was some sort of like MacGuffin-y.
Yeah. It was something ridiculous.
The
MacGyver bullet.
Yeah. The Swifty. But anyway, so it's just a big like firefight now, and now that they're in the lava in the volcano suite or whatever, they're able to patch through.
Well, we forgot to mention. So where she shot him, it was the gap where it would miss his everything important in his heart and stuff like that. And, we're not gonna say it didn't break ribs or splinter bone and fragments into your heart or anything.
Movie stuff. Movie stuff.
So he gets up and then he gets hyped up on adrenaline that he finds.
Oh yeah,
and just literally. He's got like a napkin inside of him plugging the hole of a freaking 9mm.
Yeah. So he gets hulked up. And then that's where they're patching the hollowed out volcano base or whatever it was to the real Alphie, Samuel Jackson, who is always I remember where they are. They're on a tanker. They're on an oil tanker. That's where the hollowed out base is. So they keep on transmitting the base coordinates or whatever to Samuel Jackson, and it keeps turning on, it keeps turning off again.
Yeah,
and they get Alphie back, and then Ellie's like, oh, I love you so much. I'm so sorry I made you think I didn't. Yeah. You're my life.
Because she had dropped him earlier in the cage, or rather, Ritter Cranston's character. He was holding the backpack out, and he just drops it, and she doesn't flinch. I flinched in real life. I was
buddy.
I saw my cat was sitting was asleep at my desk chair, and I was like, I reached out. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I think shortly after this is where Ritter's about to like kill them or something, or shoot them when they're uploading the information to Alphie, and then Alphie the cat jumps out and then just claws Ritter's face.
Get him off me!
Nice.
Mauls him,
and apparently,
and then Aiden comes by and shoots him dead.
Well, what happens is they say, "Oh crap, we need Ritter's eye scan to get through into the system." And it's like, it looks like Alphie scratched out his eyes. Isn't it funny how the cat scratched Samuel Jackson's eyes in the other movie?
Whoa!
Yeah. Now that you think about it,
that's funny.
Yeah, ironically, also a Marvel Winter Soldier.
Also, Sam Jackson is also deathly allergic to cats, and he just deals with it on set.
Oh,
that guy.
Yeah, I like it.
Acting.
Yeah.
A Nicolas Cage's movie right there.
Acting. Yeah, that poor man. The unbearable weight of massive talent in that man. Yeah. It's the bees, not the bees.
The bees.
Not the
bees.
It's
heavy, man.
And then, like I said, they're on an oil tanker. She says, "Oh, there's another way we can upload the information. Like we can do it like this way." So they go through the bowels of the oil tanker, and then this is where I remember Okay, well, first they escape in a gas cloud thing, right? And as they go, I hope Alphie can breathe in this because they're wearing gas masks, but movie stuff.
Yeah.
Alphie the cat. So they escape. Then they go in the bowels of the oil tanker, and they have the transporter fight from the first transporter where Jason Statham fought the dudes in oil. You remember that? And he's like slipping and sliding, and there's axes and stuff.
It was so crazy. So she does the most over the top thing. Aiden is like, "Hey, aren't you actually good at ice skating?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "That's right, I am." So what does she do? She's got combat boots on. So the only logical thing to do, right, is to get your throwing knives and step on the bladed side of them.
Yes.
And turn your combat boots into skates.
Yeah, right. That's pretty corny. Like, because I remember Jason Statham just did it, like, with his shoes, and it was all muddied up. But she didn't want to get a drop on her, so she just skated. But everyone else had to do it Jason Statham style. Man,
so you're doing triple axle back kicks, roundhouses.
Yeah, so she takes care of all the goons that way.
Yeah.
Then they go up to the top where they start transmitting back to Alphie. They're in the middle of the ocean, and this is where she gets Black Widowed, Winter Soldiered words. And the mom, Catherine O'Hara, comes out, and she's got like the Winter Soldier book, and she's like, "Agos,
dude,
45."
She's got the ballerina.
The ballerina
from the
Agent Argylle, Gamma, Delta, Bravo, Epsilon, Psi, Omega. Target Wild.
What?
From Black Widow. They're all ballerinas.
Yes, that's what I keep saying. Like, it's all the same stuff.
I was like, wait a minute. Oh man, so good. So good. This movie just turned into spit shine goodness.
Yeah. So she gets what is it? She gets Ellie to turn on Aiden, so they're fighting each other, and the upload keeps turning on and off depending on who's winning the thing.
Yeah,
and I forget how she was able to overturn the.
Well, he gets over. Like he's like, "I'm not gonna fight you, Ellie," or "I'm not gonna fight you."
Finish him.
Rachel or whatever. And she starts just whooping on him, stomping him.
Yeah.
And she's about to do the move that he was teaching her.
Oh, just step on the head.
Twist and stomp.
Just step on the head. That's how they die.
Yeah. And he's like, skulls are very fragile. You'd be surprised. So she's about to do it. And who decides to show up? It's the girl who was double-crossed in the beginning that was shot.
That's right. She's the one who shoots Catherine O'Hara. Because I remember there were a few moments in that where Sam Rockwell could have easily killed her. I'm like, just tackle her in this Winter Soldier bout.
Yeah.
And then that's when
Catherine O'Hara gets cranked in the head with a freaking monkey wrench. And then breaks the ballerina.
And they upload the information to Alphie, and then they win the MacGuffin. I forget what the...
They win the MacGuffin.
Yeah, Alphie the cat's okay. And like I said, there were a couple of scenes during all these fights because they keep going through different...
Hold on. And when it keeps going back to Sam Jackson's Alphie character, he's literally doing this to iPads.
Yeah. And he's watching like the Lakers, like in between, like he goes back and forth.
Why is he? I was watching it so confused. I'm like, what is going on?
He's like DJing.
Yeah. It was good. It was good, man.
Yeah, I know. I totally dug it. And then like there is a scene where like a bullet hits the porthole on Alphie the cat's.
Oh yeah, it was Cranston's character Ritter shot at the porthole and exploded. And when Aiden went and checked on Alphie the cat, he was just hanging out purring, having a good time.
Well, there was like a few beats where like we don't know if Alphie's okay. It's like, oh no, Alphie, please don't be missing an ear or a paw.
I love and they stop all the action to check on him.
Yeah.
Hey, will you check on Alphie? Is he okay?
Yeah, Alphie's fine.
Oh, that's good. If you own a cat, you totally understand. If your cat happens to be anywhere near your vicinity as you're walking by, you got to step by and just check their whole face.
Yeah, acknowledge them and then nose boop them with your finger.
Go about your day.
Yeah. So anyway, so they escape, and then they have like the since now the first hacker is back, the female hacker. They show Henry Cavill and John Cena like all leaving the boat, as if it were the spy novel, and it's actually Sam Rockwell and Bryce Dallas Howard and then this other hacker on the boat leaving. Yeah. So that's the bookend of. And then they show Ellie is now written this book, and she's at a convention. So she has become a writer again. Aiden is there with
she's at her own little reading of the book.
Yeah,
of this bookstore
of this new book. Aiden is there with Alphie, and then everybody's happy. She's a writer, and everybody's still ringing. And then like, does anyone have any more questions? And then you hear like a voice like, well,
yeah, I don't have a question as such, but maybe you have one or two for me.
I don't have any questions for you, but maybe you have questions for me. And then the camera pans, and it's like 80s mullet Henry Cavill. Like
it's freaking what's his face? It's Kenny Powers meets Henry Cavill.
I thought he looked like Billy from Stranger Things with that lousy girly hair, stringy hair, just like he had such a weird look on his face. And then you said
it was. Oh no! I said it was pretty good, and then we end it right there until
a post-credit sequence.
And I'll say this: we did complain about these post-credit sequences not happening too far late in the credits.
Yeah,
this happened maybe 1 minute into the credits.
Yeah,
if that.
It's a mid.
It was great.
They play a song, then it's a mid-credit sequence where we get there's a smash cut to. It's a Kingsman pub, like in the middle of nowhere.
The King's Man.
Yes.
20 years prior.
20 years prior, and then we see like a young dude talk to like the barkeep, and he's like, I need a martini, and he's like, do you think we serve martinis here? I need the twist. And he goes, oh, I see you need a twist. And then he opens up a box.
He's like, you must be in real trouble if they sent you here. As he hands him the box.
Yeah.
It's like a cigar box. Sweet little PP7 with a little silencer on it. He's like, ooh, it is a twist.
And then, what is your name? He's like, my name? I forgot his first name, but my name something Argylle. Argylle. So it's
they're like, what?
It's an origin story, and then we fade to like the real world, and it says coming soon, but not like the real world. We're in Ellie's world as like the books. It says like this is Argylle year 1 or whatever, and it says coming soon Argylle year 1. So we don't know if it's a movie or a book or it's in the world. So. We'll see. Maybe Matthew Vaughn.
I really hope it turns into an actual movie, like where he just turns these Argylle books from the fiction into an actual movie. It'd be awesome.
And also now it's in the Kingsman verse. So it all kind of ties together. Where maybe Ellie worked for the Kingsman verse, or she can now. Now that we know that Argylle is a real person. Or may or may not be.
And we know in part 2 in the Kingsman did have branches in the U.S.
Oh yeah, with Pedro Pascal doing his lasso.
Yeah,
dude, Kingsman 2 is whack.
It really was whack.
I saw it at a drive-thru. I'm like, man, this movie is whack. This is not like a drive-thru movie.
Dude, I saw it at home. I was like, what just happened, man?
I still remember Julianne Moore, like, she got one of the henchmen and put him in a meat grinder and served him as hamburger meat to another henchman.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And I remember thinking, like, if you're going to make me, like, she cooked him, right? But I remember thinking, like, if I had to eat him, like, can you, because she put him fully clothed in the
I was like, oh,
I'm like, for me, it'd be like eating the jeans and stuff would be probably the worst part. But yeah, that's Argylle. It's a good movie. It's a lot of movie. And it's a lot of movie, and it's good for it. And it's mostly an original movie. Like I try to give these original movies a little bit more of a boost, because if you're not going to, then like, what are you gonna do, right? Even though it does turn out to be in the Kingsman verse somehow, and it does kind of draw a lot of Total Recall and Marvel movies to thought. But I know I liked it. I totally dug it.
I did too, man. You want to get to the grade?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to start off with the grade? I can do it.
Go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to give this movie a B+. This is a solid spy movie with very pleasant plot twists. If this were an actual book, it would be a real page turner. Like, really, that's why I keep telling people you have to apply reading a book the same way you're going to watch this movie, because it is a lot of movie and it's over the top. This is unapologetically a Matthew Bond movie, and I couldn't love it more for that. The only issue with me was that it was a little too much, and there were some random spots where it felt a little flat, where if they had chopped those down a little bit, we would have had a movie that was like maybe an hour and 45 minutes, an hour and 50. I think that would have been a sweet spot for the whole movie. But other than that, I mean, it's a great popcorn movie. Enjoy it. I did.
Yeah, I liked it too. I'm going to give it an A-. Argylle isn't the most original spy movie you've ever seen, but it's fun and full of eye candy. It's got great scenery, great acting, an adventurous cat that holds this movie together. This is one of those movies that you can just turn your brain off and enjoy. So yeah, definitely check out Argylle. It's got Alphie the cat. Especially if you're a cat lover. If you like spy movies, if you like weird, twisty movies, tongue-in-cheek comedies, every one. If
you like Matthew Vaughn,
I say if you like any one of these actors in it, see this movie. So if you like Bryan Cranston, if you like Bryce Dallas Howard, if you like Samuel L. Jackson, if you like John Cena, if you like Henry Cavill, and like I said, this is the closest you can get to James Bond with Henry Cavill, apparently.
Yeah. With a fleshed out cast too, because usually these James Bond movies just have like 2 big names and then just a bunch of randoms.
Yeah, a bunch of randos. Hey man, once they had Javier Bardem as the villain.
I remember that. What is detachable face?
That was weird. Like what? So he chewed on the cyanide.
He was like, I survived cyanide. Yeah.
Everything in my face.
I'm like, right there.
Like, is this a thing? Like, can people have an implant? Remember Scooped Out Face guy? Like, there was a guy who had tangent here. There was a guy who had like an infection in his sinuses, and they kept on having to scoop and scoop and scoop until like his face was like he had no eyes or nose. But they figured out how to put like snap-on technology in his bones, so he would snap on like a face.
Snap on.
Yeah, so I was waiting for something like that. I don't know, man. Those Daniel Craig, like, okay, so I think we famously hated No Time to Die. This movie is better, way better than No Time to Die. And I would have.
Movie took so much time from my life.
I would have liked, now that I think about it, because this movie, Argylle, going back and forth, begins with her writing the books, right? And then we see like her page to the screen and screen to the page, and Henry Cavill as like their James Bond type, like walking through the words of the text, right? Yeah. In a way, I would have liked. I know this sounds corny, and I'm thinking about it right now. So the corn factor is strong with this, but like, there's a scene where James Bond is about to die in No Time to Die, right? What if you just cut to Ian Fleming, like at his typewriter, like,
Yeah, that would have been great.
And then they just cut to like, so just him like getting up and is like looking at the camera like, and did James Bond escape from this caper? How, you ask? It doesn't matter because he's James Bond. Damn it! Of course he escaped. It just ends that way, right?
It would have been awesome. We're just like, oh, we needed that.
He escaped and lived happily ever after.
Because he's James Bond.
James Bond. But we didn't get that. Man. We didn't get that ending. Instead, somehow he got engulfed in flames for no reason and died. So, I dug it. See Argylle. Don't listen to the haters who I think just short on sleep and extra hating, because we also did like the James Bond movie, not James Bond. We also did like the latest Indiana Jones movie, the Dial of Destiny and the Flash. Like, they weren't great movies, but we didn't hate them, and a lot of people did, and I don't know why. I can imagine maybe there's people seeing Last Action Hero for the first time and just hating. Why is this movie a movie?
It's like, why do you exist? Get out of here,
stupid critic. But anyway, that has been our hot take on Argylle. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you can. We're everywhere. We're on YouTube. We're on TikToks, where we shoot. This guy's pointing at things. He's shooting the shit. I am your host, Marc Rubalcaba, joined once again by Abel Pineda for Clubhouse Movies Podcast. We will catch you on another day, another time, next time.